welcome back to DropAJewelwithMalaka. Today I have a special guest, Miss Sasso Day, representing, okay, for all the truckers out there, the lady truckers out there, you know, getting them deliveries and packages to you. She got some jewels to drop today about what it's like to be a female trucker in the business right now, what that looks like, but even how did you even get to this point, and a little bit about your story. And I think your story may help provide some insight, inspiration, and motivation for others who's like trying to figure out how to make some money out here, but maybe some of the most common opportunities presented to them aren't the ones that are realistic for them, right? And so I'll let you get started, you know. So first of all, tell us, who is Sasso Day?
I'm Sasso. You know, my first name is Jacinta Day, but I go by Sasso because a lot of people can't pronounce it. So that's just that. And or you could call me Jay. It's just me. Like, I started trucking about almost 4 years ago. I'm from Trenton, New Jersey, born and raised. Trenton, the capital. Born and raised, raised by my grandma. And you know, that's about it. I don't
That's
got no.
about it?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. We're going to get into that. You know, you must be a little shy right now. So tell us about, so you're a trucker, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the jobs and roles of a trucker right now?
Well, when I first got into it, I worked for a big major company. Being a trucker to me is more so like sightseeing, getting paid to travel the world, and that's just that. Like, but at the end of the day, it's more than just sightseeing, because you gotta be. It's about safety at the end of the day. You gotta be on the cues. You can't be out here smoking weed, trying to drive trucks and all that. They do randoms. Not only that, you want to be safe for yourself and other people that's around you. Right. You know?
Right. So typically when you're doing the driving and stuff, what are most of your packages? Where are they going? Like what are you transporting?
Oh, a lot of stuff you don't really typically know what's in the back of the truck, but you got paperwork, and that don't really tell you. It tells the cop what's in there as far as the weight, how's the, like, what the weight carry, what the weight load is. Sometimes it could be like canned goods, it could be like food, it could be all types of stuff, but I don't really get into that because I just carry the load. And I know it's kind of crazy because I could be carrying drugs and don't even know it, but once that container is locked, it's on a shipper, and it's not on me because I don't got no control of that. Once it's already in the back of the truck and it's already locked and sealed, once we leave.
Okay. For sure. Locked. Okay. So what's the life like being a trucker, but also a female trucker? And you're pretty small, right? No shade, you know, but you're real small, you know. So what's it like being on the road as a trucker and as a woman?
Yeah, I'm not the average female neither. Like, so, you know, some female.
Wait, what's the average female? What is that?
Average female meaning I'm not the average female. I'm a lesbian out here. Yeah. And I'm just not the average female. I'm not the girly type. I just carry myself different. Okay. And that being said, mostly, like, we got to protect ourselves, whether you a female or not. Like, we got to protect our men out here. They try to take advantage of it. Like, I ain't never had that happen to me. Like, I was always taught by my uncle to lock my door with my seatbelt, so it goes around the inside of the arm part where you open the door at. You lock it and you put it inside the seatbelt holder, the lock itself. So that's what I every night. I did that every night when I, you know, took it down or whatever.
I never even thought of nothing like that, like locking your door with your seatbelt. That's crazy. Wow.
They can't open it. Like, It can't open it. Even if I unlock the door, if the doors is unlocked, and I happen to go to sleep, I lock it with my seatbelt. You still can't open the door because it's hooked with the seatbelt holder.
Okay, cool. So what's like your average day like being, like you said, like safety, right? Is a big thing to worry about and driving on the road. What's the longest hours you drive on the road?
The longest hours that you could drive by DOT is 11 and a half hours, and that's with a half an hour break. So technically 12 hours, but you got to take a half an hour break. So it's 11 and a half hours that you could drive.
Right. So you got to be sharp. You got to stay sharp, and get your rest, right?
Get enough rest. Exactly what you need.
Sure. Let me ask you this, Sasso. I was thinking about, there were some things that were going on. I know, especially around Canada, and just like a lot of like the truckers were like pushing back on like, the conditions of driving and just saying, yo, we need more, we need better. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. Like a lot of our packages that get to us, like you say, you don't even know half the time what's in that package or what's in the back of the truck, but you just know you taking some goods from one place to another place. But at the end of the day, I think there was a lot in the news and the media around like, it's, like the lifestyles and the conditions of, the truckers and, having to drive and, transport, they were pushing back, against that. So do you know, what do you know about that part?
Far as I know of, but it's really with the federal government. Like they had a lot of that locked in, and they got a lot of rules and regulations with the federal government, and I don't really think that they should be as strict as they should with us truckers, because we make the world go round. To be exact, like we move stuff around and we make the world go around. Like without us, I don't think they would be able to get half of the product that they got. Like at least not even half, like 90% of their products that they have in these stores and these shelves and stuff like that. I don't think they would be able to if it wasn't for us.
Right. I think about that and I'm like, that's why I actually be on the show, because I think like a lot of people don't realize like right now in the world there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And, we got bad weather, you check the weather lately, right? Like, and I'm like, and I wonder like, how does that affect the truckers? Like, how does that affect us getting our packages? Because, one town, it might be like a hurricane. The next town is a heat wave. This next day is a long ass heat wave. And I'm like, woo. And I'm thinking, I kind of think fast forward, like, what's that going to look like for our packages and our good and our food, like our food supplies? And I think about things like that. But I also think about like the conditions of, like what the life is like of being a trucker, or, and earlier you put me on like, it's for the women that's in the game as truckers, it's truck her, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't, so for the truckers, just having to deal with that. What is your what are your thoughts around like all the weather and all the things that's happening? How does that impact the road and in your trips?
Look, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, 9 times out of 10, we got to keep it pushing regardless of what's out there. I ain't lying to you or nothing. It be times where it really depends on the person that's driving. If they don't feel comfortable driving in that type of weather, we can shut down for however long until the weather clear up. But 9 times out of 10, some of them truckers, they just keep pushing. They try to get that delivery there. And which is crazy because I know it was times when I was out there. I'm not no longer out there anymore, but I was out there. I got so many stories. Like I was out there and I was sliding on ice and all that, trying to get on the on-ramp, trying to get on the on with my trainer at the time. And I'm sliding because the wheels is just spinning. They not grabbing. So I'm like, man, what we going to do? So I guess he knew how to do it because he been in the game longer than I did. So I guess he went to a lower gear and then the tires started grabbing. So that was like experience for me because I didn't really know, and it was an automatic at that time.
Yeah. It sounds like a really dangerous job. You know,
It
so
is.
you ever get scared out there?
Absolutely. I ain't even gonna hold you. Absolutely.
Go home. Yeah. She's like, hey, so how did you get to the point? Like, how did you get to the point? Like, what led you to become a trucker? Because that's a dangerous job, but you're making
Oh,
it work.
oh yeah. So I was in a warehouse field for over 10 years, and I was like, man, I'm tired of this back breaking crap. Like, I'm tired of it. It was back breaking. It was long hours. Sometimes I used to work for this warehouse called Ironers, where they supply a lot of hospital supplies like solutions, tapes, band-aids, needles, and all that type of stuff. So it was long hours working for them. Like, you wouldn't be able to leave until the shift was over. The shift was over. It's supposed to be from like 12 to 2 to 11, but they had us there to like damn near 2, 3 in the morning, trying to cover some of them orders, and I just was tired of it. I said, you know what? I'm about to get my truckers. I'm about to get my license, my CDLs and stuff. So I started stuff, and I took the
You go to
test.
school for that?
Nah, I took the test on my own. I just got the DMV book for CDLs, and I highlighted, I studied.
Wait, pause. Hold on. That's a jewel right there. Because I've been hearing people like, yo, I'm in CDL school. I got to pay for that. So you don't got to, for a CDL license, you don't have to pay for that or go to school for that?
You have to go to school to take the driver's test, to take the, like any other driver's, like you got to go, you know what I mean? Like for a regular car, you have to go to school. If you don't have a car, you have to go to school to know how to drive. But me personally, I went to school because I didn't have my own truck at the time. If you have your own truck, you could take your own truck up there to the DMV and take the driver course, the road test.
Right.
But if you don't, you gotta pay the school. I paid school about like $4,300 just to use their truck, basically, and for them to teach me the insides and outsides of the truck, and basically regulations of the DOT and the federal government, the rules and regulations of them.
Okay. Because I be hearing a lot of people like, yo, I had to spend all this bread, and sometimes that CDL will be like a barrier in between like certain opportunities for people. But once they get that, they be like, yo, I got more money. I'm getting paid more. And it's it's not the traditional job for a lot of people. It is a risky job, but it's definitely, from what I hear, like, what would you say as far as like the benefits? What are the benefits? Because I think we talked about some of like, obviously there's some safety stuff there, but what's the benefit?
Well, the benefits is you're not working a regular 9 to 5. I can tell you that.
Right.
Not working regular 9 to 5. You're definitely working at least about 11 and a half hours, like I mentioned before. The benefits, you get paid weekly. You entitled to a 401k plan. You're entitled to help after 30 to 60 days during most companies.
So it sounds like the benefits is like more so like the pay and the benefits package. But as far as like, if you had to say there was benefits like just in general, like for lifestyle, right? Well, would you say there's any of those benefits? Or for you right now in your lifestyle, would you say like it helps you in any way?
Absolutely. I would say it did help me, because at the end of the day, getting paid every 2 weeks was kind of crazy. And it is now, when you get a weekly paycheck, you able to do more. You able to contribute more.
Right. But like, as far, and think about pay too, like, is it worth it? Like, as far as financial, do you think like, okay, first of all, let's rewind for a second. How you even get into this, right? Because like, I'm sure like when you was a kid, you was like, I'm gonna be a trucker when I grow up. Like how did this fall in your lap? Like, what happened?
Growing up, I never thought I would be a trucker. I never even thinking about it. I rode with one of my mom family friends, and it was pretty decent. But growing up, I always wanted to be a CO, correctional officer. But I got got into some little trouble and stuff when I was about 18, caught a charge, and it was over after that. Like, I knew that opportunity was down the drain. So, I got into the warehouses, and then I knew that was like, it was exhausting. It was burnt out for me. And then I got into trucking because my uncle was into trucking. Like, he had got into it like a year or two before I had. And he was telling me his experiences and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I think that's what I want to do. Like, I want to travel the world and I want to get paid for it. So that's what I end up doing. I was
Okay,
like, let
nice.
me take this test. And I studied, and I went to the DMV. I took the test, and they give you opportunity to get endorsements, like your tanker endorsements, your triples and doubles is
Oh,
endorsements where it fall in line for different companies. Your hazmats,
yeah,
yeah, it fall in line. It open up opportunities for you, but
yeah.
some of these companies, they don't really look too much into it. They might give you like a 10 cent on the mile percent, as far as the mileage
Oh,
percent
I
give
got
you.
you.
So if they
Yeah.
give 50 cent a mile, they probably, if you got your hazmats, they probably give you 10 cents extra or 5 cent extra on top of the 50 cent that you're making every mile.
Okay. So I guess for those who like say, I got in a little bit of trouble and trying to figure out how I can get to that bag, this might be
Yeah,
a good move for some folks, like to kind of like think outside the box, right? And pursue this lifestyle, well, this job. So let me ask you this. Let's think about just the even, all right, so we know what it's like, how you kind of got there. But I want to know like that gritty, nitty gritty, like what's it really like, and even like love life, like what's your life like, like what does that look like when if you're always constantly on the road? I'm just thinking like 12 hours in a day, you still got to sleep, so that's a whole another 8 hours or
10,
five, maybe 10.
10. You got to get 10 hours of rest, and that's by law. You
Oh,
can't, your hours and your clock don't reset. They call it a LED. Your log, electronic device, don't,
I didn't know if you sleep.
cause your clock, they don't know if you sleep, but they know you can't move that truck into 10 hours. 10 hours of rest.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh, so
Your
rest
clock,
could be like just resting your body.
yeah, and your clock will reset after them 10 hours or before them 10 hours. You can't move because it's still clicking. And then if you do move, if you get pulled over by DOT, you get pulled over, they'll check your logs and they'll see. It's like a ratio of,
Oh,
like,
shoot, I didn't even know that's how it was.
yeah, when you stop, when you went, when you took your break, and how many hours that you did rest. Say if you only rest 8 hours and you move, you ain't gonna get that time back. Your time only reset after 10 hours, and you get like a whole what, 14-hour clock for the day.
Okay. Yeah. I wore my sweater today. I said, I'm gonna get in the trucker vibe today. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? I was like, I'm put a little drop of juice spin on it, you know?
my
You
truck
know?
had,
That's the trucker hat. What's the trucker hat say?
it say no.
Okay. That sounds about right. So let me ask you this, Sasso. What's the lifestyle like? So is that 10 hours or 11 hours a day? Is that every day of the week typically? Or is that like 4 or 5 days out the week?
Nah, that's every day. 11 hours out the day, 11 and a half hours out the day. That's all you get.
So what's your life like then? What's
And
your
I was living a lonely life, man. Look, I jump up in the morning. My best hours to ride out, and depending on where you go, I done went to Ohio, I went to Massachusetts, I went to Detroit, Chicago. I've been all up the East Coast. I haven't been to the West Coast at all because I heard about them mountains and them hills and all that. I ain't got time because my little ass, I might hit the white line and fly right over the cliff. Like,
Yeah,
real,
we don't want that.
yeah, I never took that opportunity to go out the West Coast or nothing like that. But the farthest south I went to is probably like Florida, I went to Alabama. I went to Georgia. Like, I've been all up the East. And
Nice. So you did get to travel. So I get that part. So the traveling is there, but you said lonely. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming for that word, right? I'm coming for you on that, right? Like lonely, like I'm coming for that. So like, how you feel about that to even say that?
when I first got into trucking, I had a little boo thing, but I told her like I didn't really want no relationship because I was focused on my career. So once I got into the trucking, I was like, we still, kept in touch and stuff like that. But to look forward to like a relationship every time you came home and stuff like that, that's something I didn't have. But I regret not doing. I do regret that. But it was lonely, man. You get up, my hours was best. I get up like around 3 or 4 in the morning and keep it moving, because if you get up either later than about 8, 9 o'clock and you got to drive them 11 and a half hours, you not stopping till about 9, 8 something at night. And it's hard to get parking out there. When you out there, it's hard to find parking spots. So it's best that you take it down at a reasonable time, or between 3 and 4 o'clock, no later than 6, because it's still going to be hard to be parking. And I learned that the hard way, because it was times where I had, left out late or overslept or whatever, and it didn't affect me in no way, because I still got to my destination on time, or whatever the case may be. But that's just up in the morning, start my day, brush my teeth, wash my face. I usually take showers at night at the truck stop, and they be clean for the most part, but I always have my own towel, washcloth.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. So I get the mechanics part. I just wonder, like, I don't think people really realize the sacrifices truckers made. Like, not only do you sacrifice like your safety or compromise your safety to get us those packages that we so much love every day. I got a package in today, and I was like, and I thought about you, and I said, damn, I wonder how this package got here. Like how, like the whole process of how this package got here today. Like how many different trucks did it go on, or like I don't think people think about that sometimes. So not only do you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice in some ways your safety, right? But then also your like your life outside of work, like that personal dynamic is sacrificed if you're constantly having to rest or sleep, and then the rest of the day, because there's only 24 hours a day as far as I know, right? Right? So like, what I'm saying? You got to sacrifice. So like, I'm big on self-care, right? And so I think you give us an idea of like, here's an alternative. Like life for a trucker is different, right? Especially as a woman, as far as safety. Not only are you worried about safety on the road, but just safety, like as like I got to put my seatbelt on my car to make sure like somebody don't try to personally attack me, right? So that's one compromise. But I'm thinking about like your self-care, your wellness, right? What does that look like? And what do you foresee like your future looking like? You know what I'm saying? Like if you do even have an exit strategy, what would you like that to look like?
Oh man, that's a good question. Exit strategy. Listen.
I was coming for the question.
yeah. Like at the end of the day, it is all about safety, because you got other drivers out there on the road that either how other drivers with regular cars, like they like drink and drive. They like to. I experienced one driver, as as I was switching lanes, he switched lanes with me, and then he started brake checking me. I'm like, yo, like, is you stupid? Like, you got like tons behind you. You don't think, like, you don't care? Like, I care about my life, but you don't care about yours, because you brake
What's brake checking?
A car that jump in front of you and they just start pressing on brakes.
Oh damn!
Brake check you, and I'm
why
like,
would somebody do that? Is that like why would they do that?
Because people is crazy out here, man. I guess they feel like I jumped in front of them, but I crossed the lane and you crossed the lane with me. So why is you brake checking me? Like, I don't know. Like, you gotta be careful out here because you have cars that'll be following you and you don't even know. Like, I always pay attention to all my surroundings, to be honest. I always did. Even in the
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy out here. My exit strategy is basically getting enough money to the fact where I could own my own business, whether I do trucking, hauling cars, or doing whatever. CDL is very uh uh effective. Like, I could use that anywhere. Like, I could get money anywhere I want, any state I want. Like, you know what I mean?
Nice. I love that. I love that. I didn't know people be playing those games with y'all like that. I didn't know that. Did you know that before you went into this?
Hell no, I never played with no trucks like that. They dangerous. They sitting on tons. They sitting on tons. And your little car, if you crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow, that's lit. So what you do for fun?
Oh, man, listen.
Is there fun? Is there any, like, when does fun happen?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, when I was out there trucking, if I had a 34-hour reset, meaning my time went out, like, I had, like, 60 hours, about 60, 70 hours throughout that week to drive, and they call it a reset. It's a 34-hour reset where your clock reset for a day and a half. And I remember one time I was in Florida. I caught an Uber to go get something to eat, went to the movies, and did my own thing. While I was, you know what I mean? While I was out there in the streets, I did my own thing. Caught an Uber, parked the truck. I was at a truck stop and went to go do my own thing, man. It was good. It was good. It was good. But
you give me so many non-details, my own thing. Like,
I was
that really
doing
does not help me understand.
all right, listen. I did my own thing, meaning I didn't specifically had to stay in a truck and just for them a day and an hour, a day and a half. I took my opportunities to go and Google a couple of things that was around the area and research my own. So what I did was I looked at a crab spot. I went to go eat crabs, and not too far from the crab spot was a movie spot. So what I did was Uber up. I called the Uber and had them take me to different places that I wanted to go explore, and that was that.
So when you're traveling, sometimes you do have an opportunity to, like, explore the town that you in, and explore the people. And I know you like to explore the food.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
I wish I had to go to New Orleans. To be honest, I never went that far, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be good. It's always good to go to town with some good food.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, all right. So you like to eat, clearly, right? You said I went to go. I did what I did my thing, and that sounds like you guys do some grub, and got your grub on and did your thing. So, all right. So, what do you think? Being a trucker, right? Trucker, right? What do you think? Trucker, I love that. What do you think it takes, like, personality wise? Is this for everybody?
It depends. You gotta be a strong, motivated person to be in the trucking game. And it's a lot of women though. Let's get to that. It's a lot of women that's out here that's doing the damn thing. And it's a lot more that's coming in the game. Like, I follow people on YouTube when I first started, and now that I'm no longer traveling, I'm not like long distance over the road. That's what they call it. RT, over the road. They call it over the road. I'm no longer over the road. I'm local. I went to driving garbage trucks. That's what I do now. But it's a lot of women that's out there driving trucks, and I love it. Every time
Why do you think women flocking to this?
Man, listen, they trying to get to the bag. They trying to go to the girl. They trying to get to the bag. But nowadays, I don't think the bag is what it used to be back in the day. When I say back in the day, I say before the pandemic hit. before the pandemic hit, you was looking at least, I say $1,600-$1,700 a week. But you know, I don't know how that owner operator is. Like when you own your own truck and you work and you under somebody else's authority. I never experienced that. I always did, but I ain't get that far. But they take a lot of risks. They take a lot of risks. Them owner operators, they take a lot of risks because they paying for their own LLC. They paying for their own insurance. They paying for their own MC numbers and stuff like that. Like they're paying out of pocket, and when your money don't add up for what you kicking out, you losing a big grip.
Yeah, for sure. So women's getting to this thing. It's a little different because of the pandemic. I heard that COVID creeping in. You know, stuff shutting down. You know, it's a pestilence. It's like a pestilence, right? It just keep coming back. But how does that affect the market? How does that affect the truckers? Does it affect it? What are your thoughts on that?
It all depends. It all depends. The downfall about it is some things is pushed back. They on recall, they on hold. So sometimes them loads that you're expecting to go out is not going out because they're on recall.
Okay. If COVID is coming back, you know what I mean? And of course, I don't think it really ever left. But if, you know, it's getting to the point where people are getting real sick again and ill again, like how does that affect our businesses and just even like our truckers, right? Because they can get sick too. You know what I'm saying? And I think about that, like shutdowns, and I'm like, what are we looking at? And I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hopeful, but you know, it is what it is. It's happened before, so it can happen again. So you definitely got to stay safe out there because you know you traveling state to state, you move around. But you know, again, being in this field, it sounds like it's definitely tough. It's definitely dangerous in some ways, you know. But at the same, it's funny because it's like, you know how people like, oh, they live a dangerous lifestyle, you know, like no, you live a dangerous lifestyle for real. It's definitely dangerous, but I think people got to show gratitude too and be humble to the people who's getting up, especially the women that's getting up and the truckers and truckers, right? That's getting up every day, carrying them loads and getting them loads to us and sacrificing their, you know, their personal and physical life. And, you know, I think that's really important that we do acknowledge that. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I feel like we don't talk about those things and people don't know what that experience is like, you know. But again, it's a dope thing too that say, hey, here's another alternative, because everybody, like, again, don't want to go to college, or everybody don't follow that route. So it's like, okay, what's another alternative for some people who may be looking to like train, like do things different or have a different opportunity, or, you know, how I think you mentioned like trucking can open doors too, you know, which it has done for you. So I want to ask you, so thinking about all the things that you experience, you know, you're from Trenton, you know, growing up with your grandmother and just your whole lifestyle, just life in general, you know, being this woman who's a trucker and just being, you know, who you are, what do you think is some of the jewels that you could drop for our audience today?
Okay. So
there we go.
So listen, to everybody that's out there listening to this podcast, I recommend you know, stay on a good path. And at the end of the day, like, if you really want to go get it, go get it. It's worth it. It's worth it. You getting your CDL, whether you working over the road, working for major companies. It's a good opportunity to have and to hold on to. It's also worth it, like, for your family too. Like, I know it's a little risky being out there over the road and being away from your family. It's a little risky, but overall it's worth it. And I really think that, you know, in the next couple of years it's going to be back to normal far as money wise, because right now it's not. The money right now is up in the air. It's really up in the air. And don't look at it just about the money. Look at it about getting the experience that you need to move on, because that experience can get you to being your own boss, making your own money, and getting contracts and everything like that. So that's all I got for him.
Love it. I love it. Thank you, Sasso. Listen, so you're gonna open up your own trucking business?
I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking about going to the hot shot field. Hot shots meaning hauling cars, either damaged cars, getting cars from the auction or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that because I think that right now gonna move me, get me, huh?
Yeah. Is there money in that? Like, what's the?
Yeah, it's money in that. You get paid by the cars you haul. Like, say if I haul like 3 or 4 cars, it depends on where they going. Like, say for instance, I got like 2 cars. They all going to California. I'm getting like maybe $1,000 a car or $1,600 a car. But I gotta factor in the gas, the mileage, and all of that too. You gotta factor them things in.
Hot shot cars, like, okay, if I brought a car over here in Cali and they about to send it over to me, that's like what that is. I'm over here
Yeah,
in Massachusetts and they about to send me that car.
yeah. They
And
bring
they add that fee on it, add that fee on that fee. That was like, damn, never mind. I guess I'll
yeah,
just keep it here. I'll keep it local. But that's what they like. I think a lot of wealthy people, but not just wealthy people, because I know a lot of people send stuff to their country. Like they'll
yeah,
buy, like, say they live here, but they'll buy a car in other states and they have it shipped here and then send it back to their hometown, like in their country or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
That's what it is.
Huh? That's what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's like some Fast and Furious stuff. Like, they get all the nice cars on that hot shot. The Fast and Furious, they be coming through and get all them cars out.
Yep.
Anyways, so you dropped some jewels today, and again, I think providing some wisdom and just a real talk, like the reality of what that lifestyle and what the life is like for a trucker. Again, like I said, people don't really realize or not even humble to realize. I want to ask you too, what's your thoughts on just like, all right, so you say you go and get into hot shot potentially, but what's your thoughts on self-care?
Self-care.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I was coming for you. I was coming for you. I'm talking about how can you be on the road? You said it's kind of lonely, but you did say that. But at the same time, you also said like, hey, there's some benefits here. Like, I'm able to create an opportunity for myself, and that's different, not the traditional opportunity, right?
Right.
But what's that self-care like? Does that exist?
Yeah, it definitely exists. Like you gotta make sure you good at the end of the day. You gotta go to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. You able to take off, like within them, 34-hour reset. You able to take off, but sometimes you need more than just a 34-hour reset. Because most doctors not open on the weekends. They open throughout the week, so you gotta take that time for yourself. Like
Okay.
for haircuts and stuff like that. Self-care, man, it matters. It matters. It's a big thing.
Okay. So what you do for self-care? So I like to hear that you go to the doctors and you do, some of the aesthetics, right? The haircut, things like that. But what else? What about the spiritual, mental, physical? Like, what about that self-care?
Absolutely, that part. All right. So at this point, when I was on the road, I always in the morning time, that's all I did was listen to gospel. And I did my devotionals in the morning before I start my day, before I talk to anybody. I still do that right now to this day. Before I talk to anybody, get anybody my time, I give it to God first. And that's
right.
just, and at this point, I'm in counseling right now too. Yeah,
Nice.
I do
Is that a good
counseling.
thing?
Absolutely. Listen, it's rejuvenating. I can tell you that. It's very rejuvenating. It helps my soul. Like it gets things off my chest. So I don't be having running around looking like Macho Man and having this angry attitude and all that. Like I'm able to let go and let God and let things off my chest and get rejuvenated, man.
Wow, I love that. I love that. So like, because sometimes when people think about self-care, they think about like something like probably like mechanical, something you could spend money on, you know, like the aesthetics or things like that. But I think nourishing your spiritual and mental health, emotional health is so important because, you know, the body is like all one. And so if one thing is off, everything else is off. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, I think it's a good thing that, you know, you open about it. I feel like getting therapy nowadays is like before it used to be like, you know, like in the past there's a lot of stigma associated with it, right?
Yeah.
But now I feel like more people are open to it, and I feel like it's kind of like my brother said this to me, like having a therapist is like having a Gucci bag nowadays. You know what I mean? It's like everybody like you don't want that Gucci bag. It's like, nah, I don't even care about that. I'm gonna wear this therapist. I'm gonna talk about what my therapist did for me and help me. And I think people are more open to it and realize that you can't just operate in life only in one way. You need help. You need help. Like sometimes you just need to talk things out.
Right.
And I think that's important. So I appreciate you for being open about that and being transparent about that. So shout out to your therapist, you know, who's helping you with that. So Sasso, I really appreciate you for being on the show tonight. I think you dropped a few jewels, but also gave people a different perspective on what it's like to be a trucker, right? But also how you got to this point and what you're looking forward to, right? Because it don't sound like this is going to be your lifestyle, like lifelong thing. It sounds like you're about to bust another move, but probably because you started this, it opened up the door for something else. And that path to ownership, it sounds like you're looking forward to that. So I really appreciate you for being on the show tonight. Anything else you want to say for our listeners or watchers before we end for the night?
I just want to say, everybody that's listening, I appreciate y'all. Don't get distracted. Have strong determination. That's the key. Strong determination gonna get you to where you need to be.
That's right. All right. Well, there you have it. All right, folks. So here we are. We got Sasso Day. And Sasso, if anyone wants to kind of thinking about this or want to get in touch with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Oh, they can hit me up on Facebook. It's Sasso Day. They can hit me up on Instagram at Watch Me Work 0710.
Okay. All right, let's go. All right, y'all. There you go.